Hi, Cosmo. So you're here to help me look at things through a wider lens, and hopefully having that more zoomed out perspective will help me be more grateful about things. And we might as well go big or go home, so, as a personification of the universe, granted with my own biases, what advice would you give someone going through a period like I've been lately, where it feels like simply carrying on is just impossible?
Starting me off with an easy one, huh? Dude, the conceit here is that I'm a way for the universe to know itself. Like I've been wandering around the cosmos for over 13 billion years, and this is my first time stumbling across life, or at least anything more advanced than a microbe. I'm still blown away by freaking plants, and you want me to tackle one of the biggest existential quandaries of being sentient?
Yep.
You're fun.
That's literally the opposite of what I've been told.
Maybe whoever said that could use a visit from their own version of me. Anyway, let's see. What can I impart that could help with apathy and overwhelm when all I want to do is squee over a leaf? Actually, even leaves feel too exciting. I'm gonna have to work my way up to the friggin' miracle of photosynthesis. Better start with something simpler like the trunk.
Dude, can we focus here?
Wait, this will be relevant, I promise. You want to talk about doing the impossible? What if I told you that tree trunks are constantly doing something that even I would have thought was impossible up until now? And I find quasars about as exciting as signposts.
This should be good. Do tell, trees just sit there. How exactly are their trunks achieving the impossible?
Can you suck water higher than 10 meters up a tube?
I don't know. Probably.
No, you can't. Nobody can. Because of your planet's atmospheric pressure, even if you could pull a perfect vacuum at the top of the tube, leaving no air molecules in there at all, the highest that could draw water up is 10 meters. At that pressure, the water should spontaneously boil regardless of temperature. Yet there are trees well over 100 meters tall that have no problem pulling water from their roots all the way up to their foliage. I've been to billions of other planets, stars, even black holes, and I've never seen anything like it. Before seeing Earth, I would have thought it was impossible.
Really? You think trees are crazier than black holes? Doesn't the fabric of space-time get torn apart in a singularity?
Yeah, and that's old hat to me by this point. I thought I'd seen pretty much everything that physics had to offer and was so excited to find life because of the crazy new chemistry that led to the entirely new science of biology. But come to find out, holy crap, some of this life stuff is doing new physics too!
Okay, I can admit, if that's true, it's actually pretty cool. But is it something that I'd find boring, like the water getting squeezed up the tube by some structure that acts kind of like a muscle, or just valves that open and close and lift the water less than 10 meters at a time?
First of all, either of those would still be pretty mind-blowing. Like, theoretically, inanimate structures that effectively function as one-way valves could naturally form by pure random chance, but they'd be rare enough to still be exciting to me. And a muscle is just more than I am ready for. But no, this has to do with pressure.
Seriously? The roots are just able to build up pressure somehow and push the water up the trunk? You're impressed by high-ish pressure?
Dude, gas giants crush hydrogen into metal at their cores, and stars literally fuse atoms together. Don't get me started on the pressures at play in a supernova. No, I am all too familiar with the virtually zero pressure of the vacuum of space, all the way up to what is effectively infinite pressure.
Okay, 0 to infinity. What else is there?
Exactly! That's why it feels like it should be impossible. Get your guesses in now.
Okay, so what is it?
Are you ready for this insanity? The xylem tubes inside tree trunks are able to produce negative pressures. The tallest trees can have pressures as much as negative 15 atmospheres at their tops.
Oh, that's pretty cool, I guess.
Are you kidding me? That's over 200 pounds per square inch. For the surface area of the average adult, that would total like 270 metric tons of force. With positive pressure, that'd be like having the weight of about 50 elephants crushing in on you from all sides. Except it's negative pressure, so it'd be like having that much force trying to pull you apart.
Dang, I'm surprised those xylem tubes don't implode. Also, if water turns to vapor at low pressures regardless of temperature, why isn't it boiling in there?
Right? Here's the trick. Water needs a nucleation site to be able to boil, something like an existing bubble of gas. But as trees grow them, the xylem tubes form already pre-filled with water. These negative pressures can only be achieved in this metastable liquid-only environment. And the tubes don't implode because each one is so small that even though it's a lot of pressure, it's acting over such a tiny area that the force is manageable for the reinforced lignin walls that they're made up of. Wood is a freaking strong material. Who knew it was made up of a bunch of super strong straws?
And you've really never seen negative pressures anywhere else in the cosmos?
I don't think so, but again, I'm not literally the universe personified. I'm just you, trying to embody the idea that we're a way for the universe to know itself. Sure, your nerdy butt was a high school science teacher, and I can imagine an exoplanet where pockets of liquid got trapped inside voids in rock or something, but what are the chances that there'd be no gases to serve as nucleation sites for the liquid to boil from if that void expanded due to temperature change or a quake? Maybe if anyone that knows better than me ever ends up watching this, you could comment on how negative pressures could occur without life doing crazy things.
Who are you talking to?
Don't worry about it. But even if there were somehow negative pressures elsewhere in the cosmos, so what? It'd just be dumb happenstance. As cool as the negative pressure thing is, what is truly mind-blowing to me is that it has a purpose. Everything else that I've seen over billions of years just happens. But in trees, this is something that happens for a reason. It's part of their biological processes of transpiration and photosynthesis. They do it to be able to live.
Okay, I guess I do find that pretty compelling, personally. But like you said, that's just my nerdy butt. I don't know how helpful the average person struggling with the state of the world would find that. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me if a lot of them might find the idea that trees are doing the impossible when we sometimes struggle to get out of bed even more depressing.
It's not about the seeming impossibility of negative pressure. Feeling overwhelmed by the world and apathetic as a result is really hard. Trust me, I know. What's helped me most is finding things to be grateful for and passionate about. For me, that includes things like taking walks in nature and marveling at the science that makes it possible. If this was your kind of thing, maybe consider watching this Veritasium video for a more complete explanation of the science of trees and negative pressure. But again, it's not about the specific topic. It's just feeling grateful or excited about anything. Another thing that helps a lot is spending time with community. The main science content of that video isn't as inspiring to me as the behind-the-scenes stuff afterwards where he's just chatting with his friends. You could participate in activism to actually do something about the issues that have got you down, or simply nerd out with people that have similar, more trivial interests. Anyway, if you identify at all with this grumpy guy over here, I hope you feel better soon.
Who are you talking to?
Hey, so obviously I'm trying out something very different here. At this point, I'm undecided about continuing this series, so I'd appreciate some feedback. I'd love to hear what you think, whether positive or constructive criticism, and if you would like to see more conversations with the cosmos, make sure to subscribe and click the bell to be notified about future episodes. Thanks for watching.